It's worth repeating.
Back here at the Prudential Center, let's look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. For Eastern Washington, the guy to look out for is #1 Tyler Harvey, averaging almost 20 points a game, and Brian Oliver for Seton Hall, coming off 26 against St. Peter's last Saturday. Seton Hall is in white, Eastern Washington is in black. The officials for tonight's game: Wally Ratecki, James Breeding, and Jeff Clark. Gene Teague will jump center against Martine Seifert. And the tip is controlled by Seton Hall. And here is the freshman point guard, Jaren Sina.
Eastern Washington opens in a man-to-man. They're going to trap the post and try to force the ball out of Teague's hands. Seton Hall's best interior player.
Sina gets inside, fade away, off the back of the rim, gets the roll.
That's got to do a lot for his confidence. He gets his first shot to go down. Nothing like that as a freshman. He gets in the lane, good penetration with the pull-up jumper.
Speaking of pull-up jumpers, Drew Brendan has that one blocked. Here comes Sina. You talk about confidence for Sina. How about the fact that he knows he's going to play regardless of if he makes a turnover or not?
It's a great feeling as a freshman when you know you're going to play minutes and you don't look over your shoulder. You should play more relaxed. And Sina, the last few games, has averaged over 30 minutes.
Difficult shot for Oliver off the side of the backboard. It's out of bounds, and it will be Eastern Washington basketball. This has been a story for Seton Hall this year. 10 different starting lineups in 12 games compared to Eastern Washington. They've had the same starting lineup all year long. The injuries taking its toll for Seton Hall, again finishing that St. Peter's game with just 7 scholarship players, and the 3 is good by Parker Kelly.
Parker Kelly, one of the best three-point shooters, comes off a down screen and pulls up from the top of the key. They move very well without the ball, and three-point shooting is a big part of their offensive arsenal.
Sina looking down low for Teague. Teague, that big body. Skip pass into the corner. And the 2 is good for Sina.
It all started with a good post entry pass to Teague, who drew the double team, took his time, threw a nice skip pass to Sina, who's wide open for the jumper.
Jaren Sina's got all 4 points here for Seton Hall early on. The jumper is good for Tyler Harvey, the lefty, who averages 19.7 points per game for the Eagles.
He's a handful to guard, moves well without the ball. He's a big guard, about 6'4". Catch and shoot guy, knocks down the jumper.
Offensive foul here against Gene Teague. You could see him pushing off to try to create space. The head coach for Seton Hall in his 4th year is Kevin Willard.
Kevin has got his hands full with so many different starting lineups, and talking to him before this game, he just wanted to really keep their confidence up and make sure Sina played under control. And so far, he's off to a good start.
And now a traveling violation for Eastern Washington. Their head coach is Jim Hayford in his 3rd year. 14 years as a head coach, 10 at Whitworth University in Spokane, Washington, and 2 at Sioux Falls. Have you ever been to South Dakota?
I actually have once. I was playing semi-pro ball after I graduated from St. John's, and we had a road game in Sioux Falls, and it was a quick trip, so I can't tell you much more than we played the game.
I actually lived in Sioux Falls. Carlos got fouled on the floor.
Seton Hall is going to really try to attack the rim and use their length, athleticism, good wings, such as Carlos, use that shot fake to create space and draw some contact.
That foul was against Tyler Harvey, his first, and now a near steal by Drew Brandon. Teague posting up. Carlos, the pump fake, gets inside, takes a bump, and he'll go to the free throw line. Good aggressive move there by Harold's Carlos.
And Carlos is being more aggressive, obviously, with the limited depth that Seton Hall has. He's a nice shot fake to get into the lane. And, you know, he's a big guard. He has an advantage with the size. He can see over smaller guards and make contact and not be affected by it.
And that foul was against Tyler Harvey, his second. So, again, an alert play by Harold's Carlos, realizing he had Harvey on him, went into his body, and now Harvey has to take a seat on the bench, the team's leading scorer, not even 3 minutes into this ball game.
Well, that's a big break for Seton Hall, and you know, it really comes from them starting by playing inside out. Everything offensively for Seton Hall started by getting the ball down low to Teague, who kicks it out when he's doubled, which allows gaps for penetration.
Kick out. Becky Joyce, the free throw line jumper, he gets the roll.
Well, looking shot by Joyce, a sophomore, was a conference player of the freshman of the year last year. Versatile big man with a nice touch.
T comes set the screen. Oliver on the baseline gets double teamed. Sina, and that's going to be a reach-in foul against Drew Brandon.
On the perimeter, Eastern Washington, as we see, thank you, Joyce, with the kick out. Gets the ball right at the high post, jab step and pulls up 15 feet. That's his shot. Very good around the rim. Versatile big man, can play inside and out.
And Fuquan Edwin, that was the reason for the ovation. His first appearance since December 5th when he had an injury. And he injured his ankle against LIU in his first shot attempt, just a bit long.
And he rushed that shot. It looked like he was a little anxious.
Steals per game. And then this year, Fuquan Edwin is averaging 13.8 points per game, and he is certainly a guy that they need back in the lineup.
No question, even if he's not 100%, you want him in the lineup. You're talking about one of the most versatile players in the Big East. And he does a lot for your team, from scoring to defensively, guarding multiple positions. He rebounds, he's a big guard, and he's a leader. He's the most experienced team for Kevin Willard.
At the free throw line is Gene Teague. 1 for 2. And it's a 1-point ball game.
You have to like the tempo for Seton Hall so far. Sina's playing under control, managing the game in the half court, and they're getting the ball down low to the big T.
Brandon gets inside, picks the dribble. Parker Kelly for 3. Got it.
Good looking job, good looking drive and kick by the point guard. Brandon gets in the gaps and kicks it out to Kelly for his second 3. Drive and kick is a big part of this guard combo for Eastern Washington.
4-point lead for the Eagles. Teague. Kick it back out. Carlos, the corner 3 is no good. And a rebound by Becky Joyce. Joyce put it on the floor. Nice aggressive move by the sophomore.
And that's what he does. He puts the ball on the floor. He's a mismatch for slow-footed bigs that come out on him because they think he's going to take the shot. He uses his space and versatility to get to the rim off the bounce.
Carlos, that's a 2, and that is good. That's Carlos now at 3 points.
And that could get Fuquan going, even though he didn't take the shot. He made a nice assist, moved the ball on the perimeter to Carlos, who pops out and knocks it down.
Nearly a turnover. Joyce looks down low, and that's going to be a foul against Brandon Mobley.
Eastern Washington really scores a variety of ways, but their guard players get the drive, and as you see the drive and kick. Kelly for the 3, and then down low, Joyce takes the ball off the bounce and drives and scores the ball.
Patrick Auda has checked back in, as well as Brian Oliver here for Seton Hall. Auda into a game for the first time since November 22nd. They played Oklahoma, so it's been a long time coming here for Patrick Auda as he checks in right around the 14-minute mark. Also, Ogden Milkovich in for the first time for Eastern Washington. Here's Brandon hanging up in the air, too strong. A rebound by Mobley. And that's going to be a blocking foul against Drew Brandon. You could almost see that one developing.
Yeah, and that was probably a bad foul by Brandon in terms of getting back in transition. Sina's pushing the ball. He's in control, and it's very hard to stop a ball handler when you're running back on your heels and you're not steady. And that was one of those instances where you kind of just let him go instead of picking up the cheap foul.
And that's his second foul, so he goes to the bench. Daniel Hill comes in for Eastern Washington. Auda. Good drop step with the left hand, gets to his strong hand to finish.
Now he's a versatile big man. Nice spin move on the block. Uses his size and footwork to score the basket.
And now a steal here by Fuquan Edwin. Edwin gets fouled by Daniel Hill, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, you have to be encouraged if you're Kevin Willard. First you see Auda, or you see Edwin get the steal and then push it in the open court. Nice burst, a step through to get to the rim and draw the contact. And you see his defensive presence, always active in the passing lanes, quick hands, and athletic enough to get out in the open court with his speed to get to the rim.
You can see the total of the injured players, what they mean to the Seton Hall team. Gibbs leads the way, 16.1. Edwin and Auda are back today. And Jaren pours out as well.
I mean, when this lineup is fully healthy, they can compete with anyone in the conference. There's no question. It's just a matter of whether they can get all guys back 100%. This is a good sign, seeing Auda make his first basket and then Edwin get to the rim and score.
Hill. It's the fourth lead change already, and it's a 1-point lead for Seton Hall.
And this Auda is really the most skilled big man on this team because he's so versatile with his ability to play inside out. They're happy to have him in the lineup, and hopefully he can stay healthy.
And this Eastern Washington team playing without right now Tyler Harvey and Drew Brandon. They're starting backward because both guys have 2 fouls. Daniel Hill has it stolen, and now a turnover there by Edwin. Joyce underneath, too strong off the glass, ball knocked away, kept alive here by Garrett Moon. A fresh 35, but it's stolen again by Edwin. That's his 3rd steal already. He averages 2.8 per game.
And he continues to get deflections, and not only does he get deflections, but he recovers the ball. Great anticipation, stays in the passing lane, and that's why he's such a great defensive player.
T gets bumped from behind by Milkovich. And it's going to be 1-on-1 here. The first foul against Ogden Milkovich.
Offensively, Eastern Washington has had trouble getting in the rhythm, and a lot of that has to do with their starting backcourt. Both Harvey and Brandon have picked up 2 early fouls, and looks like Coach Hayford is not going to take a chance and get down anymore with this team, and he brings back Harvey, who's their best player, leading them to scoring.
Teague struggles at the free throw line, 57% on the season. He's 1 for 3 on the night. Tyler Harvey is back in the game with those 2 fouls. Joyce, kick out. Harvey, top of the key, 3 is good.
Good inside-out basketball. That's the first good possession we've seen from the Eagles in a few minutes. They get the ball to the high post to Joyce. He kicks it back out to an open Harvey for the 3.
5 points now for Tyler Harvey. Edwin gets the screen. Oliver, difficult three-pointer, gets it to go.
Big time shot. He shot that off the screen with the hand in his face. Oliver, their best three-point shooter, has played great basketball the last 7 games.
First three, Jersey, Justin Kutcher alongside Tariq Turner. It'll be free throws here for Denke Joyce. And Joyce, a 53% free throw shooter on the season.
Joyce is their most versatile player. Just a sophomore, was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year last year. And talking to the coaching staff, they love this guy's ability to play multiple positions. He also played for the Australian national team. He's the youngest member of that team. Played with them this summer, so he got some good experience playing against older professional players.
One of 7 foreign-born players on this Eastern Washington squad. That is tied for most in the NCAA with Maine and Nicholls State. Stefan Manga is in here for Seton Hall. That one tipped out of bounds by Ogden Milkovich.
Coach Hayford has to be happy with the tempo right now, with Eastern Washington knocking down their threes and they scored tied. They mixed up their defense the first couple minutes. They're in a man-to-man now, but they're going to mix it up, double the post a lot when Teague is in, and also go back to some 2-3.
Sina trying to go up high for Mobley. That's poked away. Good help side defense. Shot clock down to 3. Edwin has to throw it up. Never draws iron. It's out of bounds, but should still be a shot clock violation. So we just got the explanation by James Breeding. He said he caught the ball in the air, then he was out of bounds. So catching the ball is a possession, and therefore it's a fresh 35 here for Seton Hall.
Big break for Seton Hall as they get to reset, get another possession.
Mobley underneath finds Manga. Manga gets a block, goes the reverse, can't finish. On the floor, it's picked up by Tyler Harvey.
Great defense, great recovery by the front line of Eastern Washington with the block on Manga, who tried to finish at the rim.
Milkovich has it stolen by Fuquan Edwin. That's his 4th steal on the finish with a finger roll.
He's just so good defensively. Another deflection. He recovers the ball and steals it up the court push. Finishes with the finger roll.
Moon, he gets bumped by Manga. That's the first against Manga.
And when you're going up against Edwin, you have to ball fake. You have to make sure that you're aware that he has long arms. He's always timing the ball off the pass, and very good anticipation by Edwin, who catches the deflection and pushes it in transition, splits 2 defenders, and gets to the rim.
And now he goes to the bench with 4 steals already in this ball game. He entered this game 20 steals shy of the all-time Seton Hall record. A corner 3 is in and out for Parker Kelly. Rebound by Joyce. Joyce, good job using that rim for protection.
That was nice. He used a spin move to create some space and use that rim as a shield. Nice reverse layup.
Thank you, Joyce, with 7 points. Oliver, pull up for 2, short. And it's out of bounds. Good save by Harold Carlos off the body of Felix Von Hoff.
Joyce, the sophomore, has been active on the glass and on the baseline. Very good footwork. Used a spin move to get past Mobley for the layup.
Shot clock at 10. Oliver. Manga. Too strong. And the rebound is pulled out by Garrett Moon.
Well, with Teague out of there, they don't have the inside scoring press in Seton Hall. Manga not as big and not as skilled. Down low, misses badly.
Moon going to the hoop. And he gives Eastern Washington a 2-point lead. You mentioned Teague. Teague's on the bench with those 2 fouls. Coming up on 8:45 to go here in this first half. Sina asking for the screen. Shot clock down to 10. Manga saw the shot clock. Attacks the hoop. Offensive foul. Good defense by Garrett Moon. That's number 2 against Stephon Manga.
Great job of Moon moving his feet. He beat Manga to the spot and takes the contact, causing the turnover.
Oliver and Manga will go to the bench. Edwin and Auda return for the Pirates.
Well, the dilemma now for Kevin Willard is with the foul trouble and Manga going out with 2. Teague is also out with 2. Auda now has to play more significant minutes. I'm not sure how much Kevin Willard wanted to play him, but obviously you need someone down low to be a post presence and also defensively to protect the rim.
Harvey, the 3. Loose ball. Who is it off of? And it's going to be off of Eastern Washington. Seton Hall basketball.
Three-point shooting is a big part of Eastern Washington's offense. Last year in the Big Sky Conference, they led the league in
20-18. Eastern Washington leading at the free throw line is Patrick Auda. Auda back for the first time since November 22nd.
Coming into the preseason, Justin, talking to the staff about Auda, they said he was the most impressive player in camp in terms of his overall consistency. Offensively, he can do a lot of things. He can push the ball off the rebound. He can pass, and he certainly can score inside and out. You have to be encouraged by his start so far after missing so many games.
6 points for Auda. Tied up once again. 7:40 to play here in this first half. Tyler Harvey playing with 2 fouls for Eastern Washington. Picked up those 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Seton Hall still in that 2-3 zone.
A deep 3 by Felix Von Hoff off the backboard.
He didn't call it, but it went in. Shooter's luck, and that's another dagger for Seton Hall, who really hasn't been able to get multiple stops in this first half yet.
Edwin trying to take Harvey because he has those 2 fouls, and Harvey draws the offensive foul against Edwin.
Here's another look at the 3 ball off the glass. He didn't call it, but it still counts the same. And this Seton Hall team has to figure out how they want to guard Eastern Washington. If they're going to play zone, they have to get out the shooters, make them bounce, make them drivers, make them put it on the floor, because all 3 guards on the perimeter are looking for their 3.
Von Hoff gets the roll. Felix Von Hoff, back-to-back 3-pointers. And now a timeout will be taken here by Kevin Willard.
And is better. The 2014 Edge. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. Go further.
6-point deficit for Seton Hall with 6:44 to go. Tariq, what does Seton Hall need to do as far as defensively against the 3-point shot for Eastern Washington?
Well, if they're going to play the zone, they have to be more active on the perimeter and extend it out and make sure they still protect that high post, or they can go to the man-to-man, which is another option if they can stay out of foul trouble.
A steal there by Joyce. Harvey with a crossover, and now he gets called for palming as that ball was on his hip. 7th turnover of the half for Eastern Washington.
Part of the offensive philosophy for Eastern Washington is they want to make 10 threes per game. Well, they're more than halfway there so far, so you have to be happy if you're Coach Hayford. Conversely, Seton Hall started out the game getting the ball inside, but they've gone away from that since Teague has been out with foul trouble.
Sina gets it back to Edwin for the 3. First one, Edwin with a 3-pointer, cuts the deficit in half. And he's got 6 points to go along with those 4 steals.
Good decision by Edwin.
Harvey dribbles into traffic. Turnover. Here's a steal again by Edwin. Oliver for 3. Got it.
Big shot, Oliver in transition.
To send it to overtime.
That was a huge shot. He came off a down screen and put that game into overtime with the 3. And, you know, this was a game that really turned the momentum when Gibbs went down with that knee injury, because then you didn't have that playmaker on the perimeter that could also make foul shots for your team offensively.
Joyce, the baseline jumper is way long. An air ball. Rebound here by Edwin. Edwin looking to push. Oliver for 3. Off the mark. And a good rebound by Becky Joyce.
Oliver obviously is known for his three-point shooting prowess, but one thing I'd like to see him is mix it up a little bit. Use that shot fake, because he's already being looked at as a three-point shooter. Try to drive and get into the gaps.
Great closeout by Mobley for the block. And Mobley is going to the free throw line after a blocking foul against Garrett Moon.
Seton Hall starting to push the tempo. They've been able to run a little bit more. Even if they're not converting, they're putting pressure on Eastern Washington's defense by getting the ball up the court fast, and Mobley does a good job of getting to the rim, drawing the foul.
That'll be the second foul against Garrett Moon. And the team's 9th. Mobley at the free throw line for 2.
Mobley's another interesting piece of the Seton Hall team, and certainly extremely talented, 6'9", long, athletic, versatile guy who can play the 3 or the 4. And versus St. Peter's, I thought he rebounded extremely well with 9 boards, but he needs to score the ball as well. He needs to be aggressive, get to the rim, space the floor with his length, and also be able to knock down some perimeter jumpers.
An 8-0 run here by Seton Hall to take a 2-point lead. Back in the game is Drew Brandon here for Eastern Washington. Running the point, he's got 2 fouls. Parker Kelly all the way to the hoop, able to finish.
That was sweet. Parker faked like he was going to use the ball screen and drove baseline uncontested for the layup.
He's a 3-point shooter. Instead, he takes all the way to the hoop. He's got 8. Sina the kick out. Carlos the corner 3 is good. And hot shooting continues from 3-point land for Seton Hall.
Sina continues to get in the gaps. Good drive and pitch to the corner shooter. Knocks it down.
4 for 6 from 3-point land are the Pirates. Harvey gets stripped. Sina on the ground, and we've got a jump ball. And the possession arrow is Eastern Washington. Good hustle by everybody involved.
And that's what you want to see. When the ball's loose on the floor, you want to see guys dive for it and try to get that possession. Sina was the first one on the floor, and I'm impressed with the freshman's performance in this first half. And, you know, this is a dribble handoff where Harvey tried to split the double team and lost control of it. Good job by Sina and Joyce hustling for the loose ball.
3-point lead for Seton Hall coming up on 4 minutes to go. Crossover. Nice move by Brandon. Moon, the pull-up jumper is good.
Moon is showing a lot of versatility. We've seen him get to the rim. We've seen him pull up. Nice one dribble pull up with the hand in his face. Knocks it down.
He's a guy who's getting a lot of playing time here tonight. Sina for 3. Oh, he's feeling it. He said, hey, I got hit on the arm too. Step 5 for 7 from 3-point land on the Pirates. Kelly gets cut off on the baseline. Brandon has to pull up, afraid to pick up number 3. Edwin back in the lineup, having Patrick out of back in the lineup has almost made the job easier, kind of giving him a sense of ease out there, confidence.
Absolutely. He can't do it by himself. He's a young freshman, comes out of high school with a lot of hype, but he certainly needs pieces around him, and that experience certainly helps, along with Oliver shooting the 3.
Luke Edwin makes the first free throw. He's got 7 points in his return to action since December 5th. Largest lead of the game here for the Pirates. 4-point lead coming up on 3 minutes to go.
Drew Brandon, the 6'4" point guard, has been quiet, but he's a big part of their offense.
His three-pointer's no good. Kept alive by Joyce, and a rebound by Kelly. Kelly double pump, and he draws the foul. He'll be going to the free throw line as that foul is against Harold's Carlos. Number 1 against Carlos, and the team's 7th.
And Kelly's been aggressive the entire first half. He knocked down a couple threes early, and then he started to mix his game up and drive to the rim. Here's a guy who's just a junior, averaging almost 10 points a game, and part of that backcourt combo that Coach Hayford really likes to emphasize in his offense is really push the ball in transition, attack the rim, and take the three when you have it. He's a perfect fit for that offensive system.
You mentioned Coach Hayford. We'll speak to both Coach Hayford and Kevin Willard at the half, as well as take a look around college basketball today across the country. Both are good for Parker Kelly, who's in double figures with 10 points. Sina, nice hesitation, no whistle, as Moon able to bat it to himself. Kelly gets trapped in the corner, gets rid of it. Brandon for 3. Kept alive, the putback, Another attempt comes out to Joyce. Joyce able to get it to Martin Seifert, who's checked back in, and they're going to reset.
And that just kills you if you're Kevin Willard. 3 shot attempts, offensive rebounds. Eastern Washington quicker to those 50-50 balls.
That's tipped by Edwin out of bounds. Will stay Eastern Washington ball with 19 on the shot clock.
You see Kevin Willard, who has a poker face, but trust me, he's not calm. He knows how important this 2-minute stretch is to close out this first half.
Seifert, pretty drop step, finishing with the left, his first 2 points.
That was nice because he used a nice reverse spin drop step with the left hand over Mobley.
Mobley posting up, trying to save it. He's out of bounds. And it's going to be Eastern Washington basketball, a chance to take a lead with 1:48 to go. And Tariq, if you think about this, a chance for Eastern Washington to take a lead after they had Tyler Harvey in early foul trouble, their leading scorer. Drew Brandon, their starting point guard, in early foul trouble.
And that just tells you this is a team that knows how to play from behind and stay in the game with their ability to knock down threes and attack the rim.
Joyce attacking the rim. Never hit the rim. Kelly for 3. And the rebound by Seifert. Wave off the basket. There is a foul on the floor before the basket. The foul is against Brandon Mobley. And we're going to have free throws for Venky Joyce. He'll go to the free throw line for 101.
It started with a long 3 that came off the side, and Seifert went up. Mobley on the low block tries to block out Joyce and just forearms him to the ground, and that's a no-brainer foul right there. Joyce going to the foul line.
Joyce not a great free throw shooter.
With this possession right now, game tie, you want to make sure you get a good set. Try to get something going to the rim. Use a ball screen or pull up.
Edwin, the pull-up jumper off the back of the rim. The rebound is chased down by Garrett Moon. 1 minute to play here in the first half. Tie ball game.
This Eagles team is not in a rush to get this shot off with the score tied. They're going to work some clock, and what they like to do at the end of shot clocks is get Drew going to the ball, going to the basket off the screen and roll. He's a big guard.
Kelly. Shot clock is down to 7. Kelly for 2. Kept alive by Brandon. And now they can hold for the final shot, and that's exactly what the junior point guard will do. He pulls it all the way back out, and he knows, hey, my team will either be tied or have the lead going into the locker room.
One thing that will be of